Dirt Store, your online one-stop shop for off-road essentials. All the latest products from the top motorsports brands. Gear, bike parts, protection and accessories. Whether it's an upgrade for you or your bike, Dirt Store has it all.
Welcome everybody to a new era of British Championship Motocross, the Motul MXGP. Round one here at Hawkstone Park are brought to you by us here at Dirt Store MXGB-TV. My name is Jeff Perrott. I'm joined by Phil G. Phil, it's just always great to come back to Hawkstone, but there's a definite vibe about this one.
Yeah, definitely. It's a beautiful end of March day, glorious sunshine, crowds coming in. A real buzz about the place for this new structured British Championship, and can't wait to get into it.
So far, we've already had some qualifying and racing going on. We'll talk through that in a short while. Obviously, big up to the guys at Dirt Store, first and foremost, for making this happen, basically with the MXGB-TV. So big thanks to them, Nick and everybody there, because without their support, it simply wouldn't be happening. Their support has given us the opportunity to live stream all these rounds free of charge. Let's not forget that. You're not even having to subscribe or pay a fee. I mean, you have to put up with me and Phil, but that's...
yeah, there's always a downside.
But, no, so big up to them. And, of course, you know, the guys at Motul as well, getting behind the series as the new series, you know, main sponsors. So, look, I'm rocking the hat, so big up to them. So, yeah, and it just feels a little bit different. We've got a new format. We've kind of stripped out... Well, we haven't kind of stripped out. We've stripped out some of the youth classes, and we're going back to... You know, just 6 races of high quality.
Yeah, we've got a 125, the RFX 125 class. Obviously, that's the kind of the feeder out of the youth ranks now into what we would call, you know, the main British Championship for the pros, our MX2 Championship, and then obviously the Pico MX1 class. So 2 races for each class each day. Qualifying in the morning, LCQs, which we've just seen drama in. We'll come to that later on. But yeah, a beautifully well prepared Hawkstone Park. It's been really dry. The damp that we saw at the International, I don't think it's probably rained much since then. And it will be a very, very different Hawkstone to what we saw back in February.
It's completely different. There's no two ways about it. I mean, you're right. We always complain about the wet winters we've had, and then all of a sudden, like the last month, it's really dried up. That's not to say the track's not in good nick, because the guys have done a good job. It's going to obviously get rougher, but it's going to be faster with more square edge bumps, I think, than we certainly saw at the International.
And we've got the holding area there. We had a lot of our youth riders yesterday over in the Michelin hospitality area. Their involvement with the youth side of it as well, that's really big this year. So thanks to Michelin for coming on board and supporting that. We had yourself and Justin Morris giving the guys some pointers on everything that they need to do to be doing to kind of move their motocross career on. That was really nice to stand at the back and see how well received that was. So our MX 125 guys, the RFX 125 class, then already starting to gather in the holding area for our first race of the day, and we're looking forward to seeing the action that, if it's anything like what we saw this morning, will be top draw. There is the 5:48 of Hayden Statt. Then he's one of the main men in this one.
Yeah, because the qualifying, it was quite interesting this morning seeing some of these young stars come out. Remember, they are young. Some of them, you know, as young as like 13. I think is the youngest rider we have in the class. Really healthy lineup of 125 riders. Phil Phil's just getting the old bifocals on.
Oh,
so
give me a break.
It's all right. I'm the same. That's why I'm letting you do the reading, so I don't have to get my glasses out. So Phil's going to lead us into here. Who did what in qualifying this morning? Yeah,
so qualifying this morning, fastest was the number 30 of Charlie Richmond. He did a 2:16.3, just under 0.9 of a second faster than the 55 of Ryan Waggott. So the Spencer Briggs commercial rider Charlie Richmond then topping the timesheets from Ryan Waggott. The 5:31 of Lucas Moncrief on the 3-flow Crescent Yamaha. He was third. Then it was 14 of Freddie Gardner. Then it's the 5:48 of Hayden Statt. The 4:18 of Drew Stock was 6th. 21 Lewis Spratt on the Lewis Spratt Racing Yamaha was 7th. Then the 2:12 of Mason Jones. 17 of Harry Lee, and 10th was Cameron Greenhalgh. So that is your top 10 qualifiers.
Yeah, so that's the basically the youth class. We said the RFX 125 class. Just to reiterate the new classes for this year at the British Championship. As we said, the Motul British Championship, we've cleared out the youth classes. They're going to have their own separate championship for 65, small wheel, big wheel 85s, and a separate MXY2 class. So we've got that going on. Here at the Motul British Championship, we have the RFX 125 class. We then have the MX2 class, which also incorporates the Under-21 Championship, which is brought to you by the Jude Morris Racing Foundation. So big shout out to those guys. Obviously, Jude, still very much in our memories. Top talented rider that unfortunately lost his life. So big up to those guys. And, of course, in memory of Jude. So we got that going on. That's a championship incorporated in the MX2. By the way, the MX2, if you're watching, you think you would be like to be the title sponsor of that, get involved. That's still open.
It's still up for grabs.
So we can do that. And then we have the Apico MX1 class. So basically 3 classes you're going to see today. 2 motos for each. On one of the most famous tracks on planet Earth.
Yeah, I'm talking to all the people in the going through tech control yesterday. Everybody's revved to be here. It's a new season, new way of looking at things, and we can't wait to get going. Youngest rider in this class then, all the way from Aberdeen, the number 300 of Dylan Thorndick, 13 years old.
Fair play. I mean, not only that, travelling from Aberdeen.
He's not the only one. We've got a good Scottish contingent here. I think we've probably got half a dozen guys from Northern and Southern Ireland as well. In other classes, we've got a couple of Frenchmen. We've got a guy travelled over from Oklahoma as well. So a truly international field on top of the likes of Gien Dunson and MX2, who we would have expected to be here. Still a few guys that travelled a long way. And also we've got people from Newquay, travelled the length and breadth of the country.
But that's what we're talking about. That's what we want to get it back to, that prestige in the British Championship, and for it to mean something. Like we said, we've now got qualifying. We're taking more than 40 just registered riders. So you're actually now taking up to 60. So if you're an expert status rider in the UK and you don't race the British Championship, and there's one coming to your town or within the region, get involved. Enter, give it a shot. You've got a chance of getting into the fastest 40 there and making the grade.
Well, that's exactly what it's all about. As we see Lewis Spratt there just doing a bit of a warm-up with his elastic band, and the 4:18 of Drew Stock. So second year on a 125 for Drew Stock. He's one of the guys that's doing AMX 125, Jeff. So he will... we had this discussion yesterday about, everybody who had a good pre-season, they're the guys that didn't go and do AMX in the mud in Spain and all of the drama that came with that. A big trip for them, and not a great deal of racing, quality racing at the end of it. So they will be a little bit behind the 8 ball with regards to their pre-season prep. But for the guys that have stayed home and done the pre-season races here, everybody pretty much as ready as they can be. And we've had decent weather for the start of the season, so that's been good. We've not had what we've had in the past few years where everybody is literally up to axles in mud for 6 weeks and already over it. We've had some good weather for people to prep. And hopefully the pre-season races being as good as they are, everybody's going to come here firing on all cylinders.
Isn't that nice? I mean, I'm a big believer anyway with our weather in our UK that we should maybe not look to start the outdoor series to April anyway. So that's cool, and it's just nice to turn up at round 1 and for the weather to be nice for a change. So that's pleasant. As you can see, people there soaking up the rays, working on the old tan.
Yeah, there's people there in shorts. I committed to shorts on Friday when I left home, and it was all right on Friday. Not so nice yesterday, but a beautiful spring day today here at Hawkstone Park. One of the most historic tracks that we've got in the country. We've been racing here since the 40s, I believe. And it's really nice to still be coming here all these years later.
Absolutely. This is pre-war, before they started riding here. There's some actual pictures. They've put a picture. I actually might try and get the crew out there in the winner's circle to film it in the mechanics area, they've put a picture up of, I think, the 1948 British GP.
Oh, right, okay.
And the crowd is bonkers. Like, the only thing you can see where there's not people stood is the track. And so I'm going to try and get the guys. So a lot of history and heritage here. Obviously, the famous Hawkstone Hill. We've seen so much drama here. Obviously, me, personally, I started in motocross in the 80s, so it was more like the 500 GP era. Thorpe crashing in the whoops. Mike Healy, I remember rocking up and laying it flat on the jump through the trees.
One of the best ever GPs here for me was that first 125 GP.
Yeah.
We'd never seen anybody race a 125 that fast. It was fantastic. Track prep then obviously been going on in the break. You can see that they've tracked in a lot of the ruts and stuff on the face of that jump as they just come down to under the bridge. But as we said earlier on, the track itself in great condition, and it's had a lot of changes over the years, but it still maintains its level of originality. The run through the trees, the hill, it's just absolutely, you feel, I mean, I came first here racing in 1978, and I still feel like I'm coming back to the same place, and you don't get that in many places these days.
Look, hands down, if you've never been Hawkstone, wherever you are watching on planet Earth, this is one of the most demanding motocross tracks in the world. And no matter what the conditions, dry, wet, it just sorts you out. There's no respite really. Obviously they've modernised it more, sort of tabletops. The big famous double jump where George Jobé jumped over Mellor is now a tabletop. You could argue as a racer now, when you get a bit of air time, you get a bit of air into your lungs and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, there's not much time to rest around Hawkstone.
You can rest in the trees in the summer when the leaves are on it because nobody can see you doing it. But other than that, there's like I say, there is no hiding place at Hawkstone, and this is one of the reasons why it is one of the tracks that separates the men from the boys. The gaps in lap times are not tenths; it's seconds. And if you get a good run through one part of the circuit, you can pull 2 or 3 seconds really, really easily. But so this, 125s, then these guys all in the box, raring to go. And I'm pretty sure that obviously nearly all of these guys will have raced here many, many times before. Whether they'll have run the full hill or not, I don't know, because obviously for a lot of the youth races, we use the hill up the side of the track there, up the side of the main hill. But certainly if these boys did the 125 class at the International, then they will have definitely used the hill.
I'd like to think that a lot of them would have raced it by now. Again, going back a couple of decades, sorry to do the whole rose tinted glasses thing, you didn't really have too many youth races come to Hawkstone, but over the last decade or more, we've had like other championships where they have youth classes. So I'd like to think most of these riders have ridden here. But like you said, the youth classes didn't always get sent up the hill. They got sent halfway up. So maybe some of these riders, it's the first time they've actually been all the way to the top, and gets pretty gnarly up there, Phil. But there's a lot of sandstone.
It is rock.
Bedrock.
It's bare rock up the top. Yeah. That's another place you can have a rest.
Yeah.
It's you kind of catch your breath, and then and the plunge from the top. Our camera catching that really, really well through the trees, the drop down the hill, but it does not give you any idea how steep that hill is. So the riders then look like they're putting their goggles on in the holding area, Jeff. So.
Yeah, they'll be coming out first and foremost for a sighting lap, remember. They don't go to the line straight away, so they're going to send them off on a sighting lap. Then we get them stacked and re-racked, and that's when we're literally dropping the first gate drop. We've had an LCQ. We'll explain that just in a minute, who made it through in the 2 MX2 classes, but this is the first championship race of the new 2025 Motul MXGB British Championship about to go down, and what a class it is as well. 125s. You could probably hear in the tone of our voice how me and Phil got excited just talking about the I think it was 1989 125 British 125 GP here, because when you've got 40 125s tearing around Hawkstone, it's really something else.
There's nothing better, and one of my favourite things to do any race. I didn't get to do it here today, obviously being in the booth. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Is to be halfway up the hill, listening to these boys go by, and you know who's got motor.
Yeah.
You can hear the difference in the bikes. The guys who've got something underneath them and those guys that are getting everything out of what they've got and it ain't enough, that's the place it finds out.
And you can probably see the frustration in the eyes of the riders that know that they don't have their horses. And they're just hanging off the back of it, giving everything they got. But no, it's going to be really good. Let's just take a quick moment while these guys are on the sighting lap. You obviously just watch them go round. I'd just like to highlight that I think they just brought that corner in there. It used to go up round the other side of the tree.
It used to go a long way further.
Yeah, so they've just shortened that, and I think they've done that again for viewing, really, more than anything, so we don't lose sight.
It's been like that for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
The chute from the bottom of the hill into that hairpin now is probably a quarter of the length of what it used to be.
Yeah.
We'll dub that one the Bell hairpin because obviously all the Bell banners around the outside there, and they've come on board as a series sponsor. And we're grateful to them, and obviously we've got a massive list of people who've all chipped in to make this possible.
Yeah, we have. Let's just quickly run through some of the incredible partners and people in the industry that's got behind us. Obviously, this is an ACU British Championship, so shout out to them, the governing body, the only one recognised by our actual government, the ACU, obviously been around a long time, and all the prestige of the ACU British Championship. So thank you for everybody, ACU, working with the new team to try and take this forward a bit more, and they've been really supportive to the.
Did I see ACU chairman was here?
You did.
Wandering around earlier on. Yeah, we were hoping to get him. He's a bit camera shy, I think. We were hoping to get a word with him later on.
Yeah, Tim liked to hear. So good to see Tim out. Okay, so regards to series partners, I'm just going to list them by name because honestly, we have so many people jumping on board. So we've got Aero Helmets, Apico. Bell Helmets, DP Pipes, obviously Craig and the team doing the stuff there. The guys at Dirty are doing stuff with us again, so that's Ryan doing good stuff with us. Dirt Store, obviously, not only getting behind MXGB-TV, but the championship in general. We've got Fly and Fox, FXR. I mean, just there, Phil, that's three massive motocross brands.
And FXR have kitted us up nicely
they
for
have.
our studio attire, so thank you to them.
Yeah, Gaon Boots, Honda. We've got obviously the Jude Morris Racing Foundation, Kawasaki. So Honda and Kawasaki getting involved as series partners, two obviously huge Japanese manufacturers. We've got K-Tech Suspension, they're here doing servicing. Of course, Michelin, like you said, they're in charge of doing the VIP over there and Fan Zone and getting behind the new Youth Academy.
And that went really well last night, as I said earlier on.
Yep. Moto Verde, the guys with a great cleaner, like Steve, the mad scientist, who locks up so many good products.
Oh, you tried this?
Yeah, I know, it's incredible. Obviously, Motul, I'm doing this in alphabetical order, obviously. I think you've worked it out by now. Oakley, Phoenix Tools, because we're actually doing the Phoenix Tools Fastest Lap Award as well.
Yeah, so Phoenix Tools will be offering some prize money to the fastest lap in each class.
Then we've got Planet Moto. Loads of you guys will be aware of obviously what those are, what they are. Max, that's Holidays Down in Spain. Go and check them out. But we're also doing the Planet Moto First Lap Leader Award, which we've done previously at the Fastest 40.
Yeah, so that's going to be the fastest the first five guys over the line in each race will score 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 point respectively, and over the course of the season the riders will winners of that will get a holiday in Spain. Here is our top 40 qualifiers, Jeff.
Yeah, there you go. So that's how they qualified in the order they are. Obviously, the red box is their race number. Down the left-hand side there clearly is where they qualified for this opening moto. Back to the sponsors, of course, Prox, who just do pretty much every little engine component and everything you can imagine. Clutch baskets, pistons, everything. And don't forget to watch the Prox Pit Pass on socials, because we're doing a lot more stuff on social media and YouTube. So between rounds, we got the team out there doing a bit like of a vlog, basically going around and catching up what goes on off the track as much as on it. That's the Prox Pit Pass. So keep an eye out for that on socials on YouTube. Of course, RFX, who are actually supporting the 125 class. Again, loads of components. Go and see those guys. We got Spiral, we got Stasic as well. The balance bikes getting involved.
They're a big thing now, and they're starting to hit really big in the non-moto community as well.
Yeah.
Kids who are not moto kids are wanting Stasics, and then they're I want an electric bike, and then I want a 65. We've seen that over the last 3 years as well, so that's great to get them on board.
Absolutely, and we got Ride MFG, so that's Chad, Yarrington and the team there, a new British basically motocross clothing brand, kit brands, and they're doing good stuff, supporting a lot of riders. So we got them involved. Triumph, British manufacturing,
my hometown,
coming into it. Great to have Triumph on board, obviously, and that's a bit of a success story already with what they're achieving in such a short space of time. Troy Lee Designs, awesome brand, great to have those involved. And last, and certainly not least, because I've done it in alphabetical order, the guys at Yes Brand Goggles. Good stuff from them as well, delivering a real top quality product. So there you go. That's a comprehensive list of series partners backing British Motocross.
Really in my ears, Simon.
So there we go. So we've listed off all those sponsors, Phil. I think we should maybe have a word from them.
Yeah, we are. Let's have a word from some of our sponsors.
Okay, here we go. I'm genuinely, you and I have been around this game a long time, Phil. I'm genuinely getting a bit, like, not nervy, but I can feel the butterflies as they start to line up.
Look, like you say, this is not our first rodeo, and I'm like looking at this. Well, we can see obviously there's the 418 of Drew Scott comes to the gate. Yeah, it's a buzz, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's great. I love it. Particularly this 125 class, because let's be honest, they are still young men. They're exuberant. I love this class because they roll the dice. They're going to make mistakes. Mistakes make great racing. If they make a mistake and mess up, they're obviously really disappointed about it. Become a grumpy teenager like you totally expect them to be. But for us as fans, it makes just entertaining racing.
The biggest thing for me, obviously, you try and have no favourites, but I always want to see the bloke in second pass the bloke in first, so I can then cheer for the bloke in second to pass him back, and that's what we want to see. Good bar-to-bar racing. The 548 there of Hayden Statt. He's choosing to go in there quite close to the doghouse next to Charlie Hucklebridge, but we did see, I think, Charlie Richmond and Ryan Waggott right down the far end of the gate on the outside, which is sometimes at Hawkstone, especially when it's dry, the preferred end of the gate.
Yeah, it's the reason for that. I'll just elaborate a bit more on what Phil said there. Is it's just a little bit firmer ground up there because it's a bit higher and the water runs down into sort of this end of the start that you're now looking. It's just firmer ground. Not obviously they're starting off the mesh pads and everybody's got this. There's no advantage there. But the minute the wheels drop the gate, just a bit firmer ground down that left-hand end of the gate. So let's see if a whole shot comes from the far left. We've seen many from there, Phil.
Yeah, we have. The 105 there on that black bike, that is Harry Keat. Now I don't know whether you know Harry Keat. Only been riding a year and a half. Former World Championship level BMX racer. So he is.
That's a cool story, man.
Yeah, and he's also lost a season with a broken leg. So I think he's already finished. I think he finished top 20 in the NPC a couple of weeks ago. But definitely having some good results and loving couldn't commit to what the cycling side of him needed for BMX, but loving his motocross. So we'll keep an eye out for Harry Keat.
So Harry was a BMX racer,
a World Championship BMX racer, and he was going to be part of like Cycling GB's. They take them up to live in Manchester and do the whole thing full time, and he just wasn't in a position where he felt that was a thing for him. So he's now here at the RFX 125 class. He qualified in 25th, but like he said, he hasn't had much bike time over getting ready for this, and but he's feeling rev for it. So World Championship level BMX racer. Who else do we know that did that?
Jeremy McGrath was pretty handy.
Exactly.
But he wasn't too shabby. It worked out for him.
It worked out for him. So here we are then, as we wait for the 15-second and the 5-second board to go up for our first race of the day here at the Motul MXGB British Championship. The revs will start to rise. Here we go then. And they're away. Oh, bad start in the middle for somebody who got the jump. Was anybody from the outside? Looks like a sweep in from the outside.
It did very much so.
Oh, killer hole shot.
Yeah, that was Waggott. I think that's Ryan Waggott.
It is. It's Waggott, Jeff. So Waggott takes the whole shot on the number 55, our second qualifier. Absolutely nails it then off the start. Fired it into the bank.
Commentator's dream, because he's wearing Larry kit and a Larry lid, isn't he?
He is indeed.
Multicoloured bike as well. He's easy to spot. So Waggott looked good in qualifying, I have to say.
Looks like Richmond there in third, Jeff on the 30.
Yep, and that is Freddie Gardner, I think, in second spot. It looked like Gardner to me. Number 14, obviously riding for his father's team, Matt Gardner Racing. Yeah, that's Freddie there.
Into the waves for the first time then. A little bit of a breeze here at Hawkstone. One of the things that you were talking about in the Michelin rider training thing last night was judging the wind in the jump, and a big send then into the sandpit for the first time for Ryan Waggott on the number 55. Makes his way over the famous Jobé Leap, now a tabletop, and under the Ashbrook Bridge to bring this first lap to a close.
That tabletop looks nothing, does it? Like it's so big. And it gets really rutted out. It's already rutted out well. This is a good opening lap here then. And he is going to take the, Ryan Waggott is going to take the Planet Moto First Lap Leader Award. Obviously, we're not doing a complete full lap, okay? It's just, we call it First Lap Leader, but it's basically the first rider over the finish line area. Yeah, so it was Waggott that took that then from Freddie Gardner, Hayden Statt third, Charlie Richmond on the number 30 fourth, and Lucas Moncrief on the 5:31. He came across the line in fifth, so they will take 5, 4 and 3, 2 and 1 points in the Planet Moto First Lap Award as the guys drop down the hill for the first time. And it's still Waggott then at the front. He'll be trying to get away. High, wide and handsome in the berm there. Oh, get on, Ryan. He's feeling it.
That was a send, that was, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? I love that, because I actually think it helps you relax. If you, just go out there, express yourself early doors and get the feel of, how you feel on the bike. So, Ryan looking loose, but looks like he's enjoying it. This is going to be an absolute barnstormer. Look at the talent we have in this. Ryan Waggott, Freddie Gardner, Hayden Statt. All these guys, they're going to be going off and doing the EMX 125s. They've done some already, obviously, to good effect. So, this is really good for the future of British motocross. I'd like to think what you're watching here, there'll be a future British champion in MX2 or MX1 further down the line.
You'd like to think so. So, Waggott then, the 18-year-old from up there in Carlisle on the Raji Racing KTM. Not getting away massively from the number 14 of Freddie Gardner on the Matt Gardner MX Gas. As they make their way down into the wave section down the far end of the circuit for the second time. And it is indeed, I'll say, Richmond, Moncrief and Spratt. That's 4th, 5th and 6th. That's a massive send on a 125, Jeff. I cannot... Well, look at that. They're all getting over it. Nobody was doing that on a 125 at the International. It was far too wet. Oh,
God, no. It was way too stodgy for that. But as you can see, okay, it looks like they freshened up this tabletop. That is different to qualifying. That got pretty rutted out. So the track team have been out there and tidied that bit up. Watch for that as we progress, because by the time we get to MX1, that looked like the devil has literally drawn his claws across over that. It was
like I said, they freshly tracked it in before the sight lap. But here they go then, up the hill. Waggott then, like I say, he's got some horsepower up there. Wait for the second rider to come in. Shot the gap then, 2.5 seconds. We've got to change for second. That looks like Statt has gone through.
Yeah.
On the 5:48, Jeff managed to find his way past Freddie Gardner.
Yeah, he did. Fair play, because looking at the racing line, somehow he got that up the inside. By that I mean, you would have thought he'd have had to back it off at the bottom of the hill, but he got up the inside of Freddie Gardner. Gardner coming back
at him. Through the trees, who's going to appear around the bell hairpin, and it's still Statt. So Statt had obviously got the better line at the bottom of the hill. Richmond then still there in 4th, and those guys just starting to gap out a little bit from Lucas Moncrief there on the 5:31. He's the next man along in 5th.
We're 2 laps in, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Well, because it's the future, like I said, our sport. There's 4 riders, well, 5, list them all, as many as you want, but some genuine talent, all already really like racing hard. Because that was a great return move from Freddie Gardner. He didn't roll over and have my belly tickled. Instant retaliation.
There's too many riders who don't have that ability to fight back, and on the flip side of that, there's some riders who don't know when to give up. But I think that was a nice move by Gardner. He tried to make the pass back, but Statt had got him lined up nicely, and obviously where that you go left and then right, he put him on the inside line to go around the bell hairpin, and now obviously Statt on his way to 2nd place. He's got 4 seconds, probably even going to be 5 seconds to Ryan Waggott to try and close down in this first of our RFX 125 class races from the Motul MXGB British Championship here at Hawkstone Park, round 1. Like I say, massive send. That is a huge leap on a 125. So there is your race leader. He's been and gone. 2nd place then Statt, 3rd Gardner, being challenged by Charlie Richmond in 4th, the number 30 on the Yamaha, the man from Reading. So Charlie Richmond, again, he was decent at the International and showing his form. It's pretty much a KTM Yamaha lockout this class.
Yeah.
With the odd gas thrown in for good measure.
I've got to say, he performed well down at the St John d'Angely as well. For the most, he did the recent EMX down in France.
Yeah.
Made the cut, qualified.
Hey, making the cut at that level of race is a massive thing, because if there's anywhere that's good at 1-2-5-2 stroke racing, it's the Spaniards.
Yeah.
They love a bit of it. And Richmond, then, is he going to get a run up the hill?
And I want to give a shout out while we're at it to his team, the S Briggs team, really getting behind youth talent this year, putting the team together. Obviously his teammate Zane Stephens as well. So everybody over there at S Briggs, keep doing what you're doing. We need people like you supporting British riders to take them to EMX 125.
Exactly right. Spencer Briggs Commercials, then, you've been a big player in like the Vet and the Evo scene for a number of years, and then they stepped up with a decent team in the Honda Cup in the Fastest 40 last year, and then here they are with the youth. Gardner's not give this up, has he?
This is brilliant stuff. I mean, look at this
side.
Have that, there's no messing about.
Look over the shoulder, and Richmond all over the back of Statt as they go through the avenue then.
Meanwhile, I've got to say, props to Ryan Waggott, because just like that, he's gapped them by nearly 6 seconds.
Checked out, hasn't he? And you wouldn't expect... I mean, I know Ryan's a decent rider, but in this class of field, you wouldn't expect to see him riding away from these 3 guys at this rate.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's the times coming up, but if you're looking at the top 3, that's obviously the gaps between them. So there you go. Ryan Waggott is 0.59 seconds ahead of Hayden Statt and so forth. So there you go. If you're new to our beautiful sport and want to know what those times are, that's basically what's going on there. And
an ice cream van in March, and he's going to be doing a roaring trade today, because it is beautiful out there.
To be honest, we don't need to put the times up to tell you the difference between these 3, because they are virtually all in the same, same frame.
Richmond's up to 3rd. He's put the pass on Statt. Well, I was watching Gardner there, so as we were looking at the gap. So there's your race leader into the sandpit. He's away and gone, but this is the battle for 2nd place. Oh, again, big set. Oh, Gardner makes it.
Statt, he hung it up. That's going to cost Statt. Look at this. I'll tell you what. If these 3, literally, talk about putting a tent over them, you actually could have at that point.
Round the outside then.
Brilliant. I knew this class would be epic. This is brilliant stuff.
Statt goes back to 4th. He was one of my fancied men, but let's not forget, he is only just up off an 85. So I think Hayden's been having...
You've got basically what's going on at the minute. You can also see that Waggott is now really checking out. Look at that. I mean, he's gone. He's nearly got the gap up to 8.5. So we're going to stick with this battle. I mean, we're not taking our eyes off this. Lucas Moncrief is there in 5th, somewhere behind these guys, a little bit further back. But all due respect to the other riders out on track, we're just going to stick with this for a while because it's that good.
What a race. So it looks like Statt just struggling to hold the pace of Gardner and Charlie Richmond. They make their way around the bell hairpin at the far end of the circuit and then come back down over this tabletop. And again, this tabletop a nicer landing than it used to be. It used to be quite tight. And Richmond then trying all he can on that number 30 Yamaha. And Spencer Briggs Commercial Man only 16 years of old from 16 years of age from Reading, and he's all over up against the bank there. That chestnut fencing does not let you off the hook at all, does it?
Just want to highlight as well, very early doors in this championship. It's going to get very interesting as we go along. So you can see them all racing and racing hard. I think it's fair to say, and this is no disrespect to the other guys, but the firm favourite coming into this championship would have been Jamie Keith.
Without a doubt, we've got to give a nod to Jamie, out injured then, and unfortunately not with us this weekend. We've got a return, Jeff. Do we know when he's going to be back?
Well, he'll be back for round 2, of course, if he stays fit and healthy.
Yeah.
He felt like he could have ridden this weekend, but obviously his new team, JK Racing, and he's there to race the EMX 125, and Yamaha Europe has said, look, we know you're keen to win a British Championship, but look at the bigger picture here.
Yes.
So he's sitting this one out, which means he's then going to it's going to sting. But then, regards of the championship, Phil, as we go forward, he's going to be playing catch up. It's going to be a very intriguing RFX 125 British Championship.
It is indeed. So
it looked to me, Richmond.
Have we got a rider gone down there somewhere?
Well,
or is
no, I thought
we've lost somebody.
Yeah, we have.
I think we've lost Richmond. I did see a flash of a yellow flag in the Honda hole.
No, I think it might be Freddie Gardner that's gone missing, is it?
No, I think Gardner's gone through.
Oh, you're right. Yes,
yeah,
it was.
We've lost Richmond.
Yeah, because Stats
there in third. Well, the timing is not updated. But
no, not yet.
Definitely Gardner. There is Statt, and there is no Richmond in sight. He's definitely not checked out. So
let's just So. Just the totem pole, that might change in a minute. That's just a bit lagging at the minute.
Yeah, that's not what we're seeing actually on screen.
So that might need refreshing. Obviously, that's up to the technical gurus to do that. Me and Phil would do it by visual right now.
Yeah.
So just as a minute, the top 5, just kind of ignore the timings on the left-hand side, because that needs to be freshened up. It might have frozen.
Waggott then going out of sight there, just started to get into the back markers then. The K-Tech timing pole not updating, so
to be fair, we also a little while ago we had the actual countdown clock going on the top left, and that's disappeared as well.
Yes.
So we're a little bit in the dark here regards of how long left. This is a 20-minute plus 2-lap moto, by the way. Luckily, me and Phil are right opposite the finish line. And we can see the flag marshal, so if it all gets desperate, we can at least see when the 2-lap board goes out.
Yes, definitely.
But right now, no mistaking the race leader. Ryan Waggott is on an absolute march here. He is just simply checked out. At least we believe he's still leading. But you can see, again, you can see by the DP pipes flags there, a little bit of a breeze starting to build up. They have said, weather report is effectively that it's going to get windier as the day goes on, and that really will dry the track out.
So there was Waggott then just jumping into the sandpit as we cut to the 105 of Harry Keat going up the hill. But Waggott then, our race leader.
It's updated now because Richmond's dropped down to 5th past Moncrief. So Lucas Moncrief up to 4th. Great debut 125 ride from him. His first year 125 rider. Stepping up off the 85. And he's out there representing the Yamaha Blue Crew, as obviously so is Hayden Statt, Charlie Richmond. All those guys have all signed up for the Yamaha Blue Crew to try and get to the super finale.
There's our race leader going up the hill. So Waggott then 8.2 in front of Freddie Gardner. And Richmond dropped to 5th then, as our timing has updated. So there's Statt just going out of sight.
Yeah,
it's a long way back though, so that's pretty much done. There's our race leader then. So after that brief flirt with about 3 or 4 back markers and the loss of the timing, we're back to where we need to be. And I will say that this is an impressive first RFX 125 moto from the man from Carlisle, Ryan Waggott.
Well, they do say, Phil, if you're going to wear pink kit,
be fast.
Be fast, and he's definitely doing that. I was just looking out of our window there. I could see that Lucas Moncrief has probably got about 4 seconds on Charlie Richmond. So Charlie obviously lost a fair amount of time in that crash. It'd be interesting to see if he can close up to Moncrief. Moncrief, as you can see, is a fair ways behind Hayden Statt.
So just going through the rest of the riders then in, so 5th is Richmond, 6th is the 418 of Drew Stock, then it's the 171 of Cameron Greenhalgh in 7th, the 213 of Mason Jones in 8th, and then it's the number 17 of Harry Lee on the 723 bikes, KTM, he's there in 9th, and 10th is the number 80 of Zane Stephens on the 2nd of the Spencer Bridge Commercials entries. So they've got 2 riders in the top 10. It's a decent day for them so far. I'm
going to go out on a limb here because at the minute we've got just tiny little timing glitches. I don't want to highlight that too much. At least we're seeing who's doing what here. We've also got the Phoenix Tools Fastest Lap Award, yes. And I'm just going out on a limb and saying it's Ryan Waggott. It can't be anybody else, can it? I mean, he literally is pulling away. He must have set the quickest lap of the race. I don't know that for sure, but obviously we get that sorted for the MX2 race coming up.
Nice inside line there. You can see it's really nice and dry. This corner's usually feet. He went the right side of that slower rider there. But that's where your race can suddenly disappear.
They've changed that part of the circuit a little bit over I think, was it this year or for the International? That used to be a bit of a bomb hole, a bit of a dip.
That's been gone for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So I think one of the best changes that they made here at this Hawkstone Park circuit, certainly recently, is taking stuff out, because this bit from after the bridge, it was more of a step up into that hairpin.
Yeah.
There was a big bomb hole after it, and then there was a jump between what was the last corner and the back of the pit lane, and it all got very, very one-lining. Now it's really nice and open, and everybody can go where they want, and as a result of it, the racing is so much better. The track stays pretty much the same all the way across. There's not one line that gets chewed out, and these guys can go where they want to go.
And to be honest, Phil, with a track as beautiful as this and natural terrain, it sorts itself out. That's the point of it. You get the inside line was suddenly, after a motor gets so rough that you have to start, you're constantly having to change your lines, even, I'd say definitely between motos, but even during a race. If you've got your eye on the prize, you should be looking for those new lines all the time.
So there's Gardner and there's Statt. So that's the battle for 2nd and 3rd then, as our race leader then comes through. If we can hold the shot and pick up the battle for 2nd between Freddie Gardner and Hayden Statt, that's the number 14 Gas of Freddie Gardner and the 548 of Hayden Statt. And be in the background of the shot. This beautiful bit in the trees. Now again, not the bank there, not as big as it used to be.
Also, down the years, it looks like they've cleaned some trees out as well.
I think they've cleaned themselves a lot of in there. There's a lot of stuff in there that needed taking out.
I got a sneaking suspicion. We've lost our countdown clock here, but don't worry, we're on the ball with this. Looking out the window, but our flagger here on the checkered flag looks like he's getting set potentially to. He's watching his stopwatch like an eagle here. It's going to be touch and go whether Ryan Waggott gets the 2-lap to go board here. But do you know what? If that timing is as it says it is, he's got 8 seconds to work with, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon, Phil.
So there's a battle for 2nd then coming into shot, and Hayden Statt is all over the back of Freddie Gardner as they go under the bridge. Here's our race leader. Is he going to get the last lap, 2 laps to go board?
No, he's not. No. So at least 3 to go, which is brilliant because we've got an epic battle going on for 2nd. Yeah, okay, so that is really shaping up. Statt is right there now. They're going to come into view. If we hold this, we're going to watch 2 riders giving it their all on full gas.
Who's going to be first into shot, Jeff? Is it going to be Statt? No, it's still Gardner. There's Statt, so he's right on him. 2 bike lengths as they get to the top of the hill.
Then there's a 13-second gap by timing to Lucas Moncrief.
Yeah.
Having a solid ride in 4th. I'm going to look out the window. He's still there. He's safely over the line. But let's see how close now.
So that's Gardner then on the number 14 Gas.
Drew Stock has actually made a move on Charlie Richmond and gone up into 5th. And he is now closing down on Lucas Moncrief with 3 to go.
Okay.
So we've got another battle going on there between 4th, 5th and 6th. Let's keep an eye on that one.
So it is all starting to tighten up. The 94, he's a lap down, but as we watch Statt, the 548, disappear into the trees, he's not giving up the chase on Freddie Gardner. A second between them as they went through last time, but there's Gardner, and there is the 3rd place Statt, and it's more than a second now, Jeff. That looks like it's out to a couple of seconds. So Statt on the Yamaha the youngster just lost the toe on that lap a little bit, I think.
Yeah, well, when they went up the hill, he was much closer than that. So I don't know if he's made a mistake or Freddie's just got that section of the circuit dialed, because he, as you said, he's definitely gapped it out. They were much closer than that going up the famous Hawkstone Hill.
Yeah, so Gardner then on the number 14 Gas. He's definitely got a wriggle on over that last half a lap, and as a result of that, the Matt Gardner Racing entry looks like he may well hang on to that second place in this opening RFX 125 Moto.
Oh, it's been so good. We've got a whole year of this. It's just brilliant. Like 16 motos are going to be like this. And, of course, as we said, it's only going to tighten up. And as the championship gets towards the end of the year, it's brilliant stuff. Love it. Loving the way they're getting over that. As Hayden, front end, really pushing the bike in there.
There was guys on 450s not doing that at the International just because of the conditions. But to see these boys sailing it on a 125.
2 lap board is out, I can tell you, Phil.
Yeah, so we can see that there, Jeff. The 2 lap board has gone out.
So Ryan with a nice healthy lead here over Freddie Gardner. I think it might be coming down a little bit, but I just think that's race management from Ryan Waggott. He's in a nice comfortable position. He doesn't have to override. He's got a bit of time on his hands here.
He's done the hard yards already.
Yeah, exactly.
And this time Statt not as close as he was on the previous time round, and that gap now, as we can see, out to over 2 seconds. And with 2 to go, I think that Freddie Gardner has done enough to break the back of the challenge of Hayden Statt. And whether Moncrief can hold off Drew Stock now, that's kind of the other battle, but I'm not sure how close they are.
Oh, let me tell you. Right, we need to get cameras on this, because there is an epic battle going on between Lucas Moncrief, Drew Stock and Charlie Richmond. There's a couple of seconds between all 3. I don't know if we'll be able to find riders number 4. They're just going up the Hawkstone Hill right now. So Moncrief leading that charge, but my God, that is under pressure with 2 to go. So hopefully we can find those 3 on track, because the top 3 now look like they've kind of settled down.
It's all settled. There is Gardner, and then he's managed to put a back marker between himself and Hayden Statt. So yeah, if we can pick that up, that would be brilliant. But the MXGB-TV team doing an excellent job of following the action here in our first race of the day at Hawkstone Park. A bright and breezy Hawkstone Park, it has to be said. Now the wind is starting to pick up, but there is your second place man Gardner with Statt in the background, and you can try and look through the trees, but that other battle's a long way adrift, Jeff.
Yes, it is, but it's some battle going on, and it's going to. That's the beauty of this class. You know, we're going to see racing from top to bottom. 125s, the very nature of how you have to race them makes it like that. But when you stick a bunch of like 13 to 17, 18-year-olds on them, all of a sudden things get a little bit leery. It's brilliant.
They do indeed. So. Is this our race leader? No, that is a back marker.
There's Freddie in second.
Yeah, so Statt has definitely I think he's given best and decided that the chase is over for him, and he's going to settle for 3rd position. 1 lap to go then, race leader across the line to start his final lap. Oh, big moment there for Gardner, nearly took the front.
So this is going to be epic to the flag. Still intrigued to see what's going to happen for 4th, 5th and 6th, because that is some battle going on. I'm going to make my way out, Phil. Hopefully going to be speaking to the top 3. I'll let you bring this in. Hopefully we'll have the top 3, if they remember, to come to the winner's circle.
Well, if you're out there standing waving your arms, Jeff, you've got a chance. So into the last lap then of this first RFX 125 Moto, and it is still the number 55 of Ryan Waggott. Took the whole shot, disappeared, took our Planet Moto first lap leader award, and has gradually moved away at the rate of about a second a lap. Here he comes down out of the bell hairpin for his final circuit. And said the man with the pink gear and the pink bike, the 18-year-old then from Carlisle on the KTM, has been the class of this field, but it was a good battle at the beginning. We wait for Gardner to come into shot. There's Gardner then. But our race leader, Ryan Waggott, qualified 2nd, and Charlie Richmond, our fastest qualifier, he tipped off. He's managed to fight his way back up to 4th, but a long way adrift. They're 30 seconds back from the race leader. So if we can follow our race lead around, and then we can pick up that battle to come to the line for 4th, 5th and 6th between Richmond, Drew Stock and Charlie Richmond. But really nice form over that tabletop. Perfect landing on the downside into the waves. We've got a decent crowd here as well. I've got to ride it down on the up slope there, not quite sure. That's the 2:59, I think that is. It might be Fabian Junior Morrison. But our race leader into the Honda hole gets the plaudits of the crowd for a great ride, and he will come across the line for the victory in the RFX 125 Moto 1 here at the first round of the Motul ACU British Motocross Championship 2025. A great win then for Ryan Waggott. Second across the line should be Freddie Gardner, but they're about 12 seconds adrift. We can pick up the guys over in the Honda hole and see what the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th is. They come across the line. I'll pick this camera up, and so Gardner comes across the line. He takes second, and then it will be a distant Hayden Statt who just backed it off on the last few laps. I think he just realised he hadn't quite got what it was going to take, and then it's going to be a long gap back to the 30th Charlie Richmond, Lucas Moncrief and Drew Stock, and they will be coming into shot any second now. Those will be the three boys that come into shot, looking like they're all still in a hurry. So there's no, that's not Richmond, that is a back marker. But that front three absolutely checked out. So that's the 30, I think, of Richmond coming across the line in 4th. We've lost our results tower, so we'll wait for that to come back up. But that was a fantastic race. Ryan Waggott then doing everything that he could do, and there is your results then. A win for the number 55 of Ryan Waggott, second the number 14 of Freddie Gardner, third the 548 of Hayden Statt. It was Charlie Richmond that fought back to 4th, but 5th place on the final lap then for Drew Stock, 6th Lucas Moncrief on the 531, 7th Cameron Greenhalgh on the 171, then 8th Zane Stephens, 9th Alfie Geddes Green, and 10th the 212 of Mason Jones. Hopefully Jeff will be over in our winners circle with our top 3 to get a quick word with Ryan Waggott, Freddie Gardner and Hayden Statt. The rest of the riders then come across the line at the end of Moto 1 of the RFX 125 Championship. So Jeff is down there ready in winners circle. We will go over to him and he can talk to our top 3.
Right, here we are with the RFX 125 race winner, Ryan Waggott. We like you in the commentary booth because you're wearing bright pink kit, you got a Larry helmet, and you just went out there and like literally annihilated them. You got to be happy with how that first one went.
Yeah, it was a good race. Glad I got the whole shot, made the race a lot easier.
So what about, where's Paul? I saw Paul Winrow in your camp over there. Did he give you any top tips? Just massage his ego a little bit, go on.
Nah, he's all right on the quad.
So how are you feeling? Obviously really good. I don't think you top qualifying, did you? Did you? I can't remember. It's already losing track of what's going on today.
No, I was out front at the start and then Charlie got me like 2 laps from the end or something.
But you got to be pleased, so confident going into the second one after that. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, everyone who helps us out, my mum, dad, Blues Tyres, Rip and Roll Goggles, Motor Coach 38 Dan, and everyone else who helps me. What's alarming for me as an old man now is how quick you lot are growing. So I can still remember you down there like on a little 65 ride. Now look at you winning the 125 races. Well done, mate. Good stuff. Thank you. There you go. There's Ryan Ragg and Waysmith. We got the second and third. We've actually got them to turn out. So if you want to just roll out, Hayden, let's just get them in. They can come without their bikes. We'll keep this rolling. Freddie, what a great opening moto. We've got Hayden as well. I mean, straight away, this championship is going to be stacked, and you're racing hard. It's going to be good for you as well, I should imagine. Prep for EMX. It's not an easy championship.
Yeah. There's like 6 or 7 of us that can all win it out there, and we all really want to win. So we're kind of it's aggressive, just like the EMX, especially them first couple of laps. But yeah, it's great. You two, I'll just go highlight. I'm glad he said that because you two
midway there, or early doors was having a right old ding dong. You're going at it, but you obviously you two get on and racing hard but fair, Hayden. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, of course I'm happy with that. With my first year on the 125, I'm pleased to be finishing third in my first British race so far. And yeah, obviously great battles with Freddie and everyone out there. It's going to be a good year.
What he said, it absolutely is, because I was genuinely excited watching you guys. So was Phil. So well done to you both. Good luck in the second moto, fellas. There you go. We're up and running with the Motul British Championship MXGB here, and that was the RFX 125 class. And like me and Phil said right from the outset, what a brilliant opening moto to start this.